news that the inevitable has impacted us. We will wish to reaffirm the commitment of the Democratic Labour Party, which was made at last week's social partnership meeting, to working with the current administration on behalf of the people of Barbados. The Minister of Health, Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, retired, must be complimented for the calm and decisive manner in which he shared the unwelcome information. We are heartened that the fully equipped 6-bed infectious disease centre at Enmore and the 4-bed quarantine facility at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is being put to good use. A former Democratic Labour Party administration spent $1.6 million on personal protection equipment and trained a rapid response team led by Dr. Corey Ford to manage infectious diseases. We now speak from an informed position, having managed at least 3 outbreaks of infectious disease. So the fundamentals to manage an infectious or virus outbreak in Barbados was put in place some time ago, and we are therefore comfortable with the current government's ability to manage processes that were already established. However, there are a few matters which we would seek to address, which have not been outlined as yet. The mortality from COVID-19 is highest amongst those with pre-existing conditions, such as NCDs, the non-communicable diseases, and some 60% of Barbadians suffer from NCDs. We are heartened that the Barbados Drug Service has been capitalized to provide stock of those medicines for at least a minimum of 2 months. But we would hope that the cash flow and the logistical challenges are also overridden to permit the medication to be available to those persons. In the midst of a global health crisis such as this, developed countries should seek to store and buy essential medicines, and we are fully in support of the use of capital to ensure that our citizens have their medication. We don't believe, though, that it is enough just to tell our older folk to stay home. They require concrete assurances, because they will still need to get about their business, their basic business, the essentials. In addition, the actions of the frontline workers at the airport in walking off the job were a manifestation of the psychological discomfort that is shared by healthcare workers and persons across Barbados who may have to interact with the public on behalf of the state. In light of this situation, we again call for government to issue frontline staff with care kits in line with what is being done by some local private companies and what has been required by international organizations. Because, as we keep saying in the Democratic Labour Party, Barbados is more than an economy, it is also a society. It is also time for businesses, particularly those that were the recipient of reductions in corporation tax, to implement a moratorium on loan payments and fees. In relation to utility services, we would expect that Barbados Light and Power Company Limited and also Barbados Water Authority would not be affecting any disconnections, at least within the next month. Commercial banks, small business financiers, both state-owned and private, should be of one accord with the waiving of these fees and payments for their clients. And we would hope that the hire purchase agencies would also follow suit. Working from home is a possibility for some businesses, and also we would expect for some students going forward. We do have that capability, but it has now become a necessity. And it is for this reason that we are also asking that the internet service providers show public spiritedness and good corporate citizenship and allow free access with cybersecurity for the period of social distancing to allow for the loss of productivity to be minimized. Now more than ever, we need each one of us to be displaying good sense and sober behavior, and it needs to be instilled in us now as a people. It is not time for panicking and hoarding. Buy what you need and leave something for those who do not have the wherewithal and the ready funds to buy in bulk. Limit your own exposure, and this applies to officials as well as private citizens. Do not expose yourself and do not expose others. The Democratic Labour Party takes this opportunity to inform that we too, of good corporate citizenship, have suspended all of our meetings for the time being. We would have witnessed officials touring venues, which are petri dishes for disease, and traveling to compromised countries. Our leaders must play it safe and switch to remote meetings, practicing watch they preach. Once good sense prevails, we as a nation can ride out this period with minimal impact. May God continue to protect and guide this nation during this difficult time. Thank you.